Another iconic summer. Well, I'm laughing because they had only potential, okay? An iconic summer with Wijnaldum, but the big names come with Donnarumma, Hakimi, Lionel Messi.
Ay,
They
ay,
didn't
ay.
manage to get it done. They didn't. With Sergio Ramos,
No.
all announced from that PSG picture, and they didn't manage to impress. And I think Galtier is one of the reasons too, Breton. I'm sorry to say it.
Ah.
Galtier isn't a manager that leads the way for a Champions League winning team. And even
Well,
philosophy wise, there's big confrontations with ideology, and the backroom
yeah.
staff says. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I think he really isn't that guy.
I don't know if anyone is the guy. I mean, with the way PSG is run, right? And with the way the supporters support the team, and with the way it's a very, very different feel than some homegrown type of grassroots type of build from the bottom up type of thing. No, this is all come on, they just brought in they locked in one of the most iconic players of the recent times. They locked in two of the most iconic players in the last 15 years in Neymar and Messi, and they still couldn't get it done. And I don't know if it all falls on Galtier, but there is no doubt when it comes to him that they just, even though they won, scraped it out by 1 point above Lyon, or Lens. Somebody actually told us it's Lens, which is interesting. Thank you, Mr. Commenter. I forget your name and I should give you credit, but thank you for that. And please correct us more. But they conceded more goals in Ligue 1 than they have in a very long time.
Yeah.
They were they were maybe fifth best defense in the league, and they score all these goals when all things are said and done, and they only beat Lens by 1 point.
True.
1 point. So I'm with you. I still think Galtier is a very capable manager. I mean, hell, what he has done previously, that's fine. I just don't know who is supposed to take the reins of a team that has no ideology. There is no ideology.
I agree.
There is no common thread.
But
there is none.
But PSG was founded, I think, in the 1980s too, and I think that offers the culture of football is. Yeah, I think they're starting it and getting the Frenchman Mbappe that's so proud of it. He just has to be the key. Mbappe has to leave PSG as the most iconic player ever in the history of the club if PSG's culture is going to change. And that's why they have to invest in a team around him the proper way. And Galtier with PSG, yes, only 1 point above Lens. Champions League disappointment. Coupe de France disappointment, losing to Marseille. That's disappointing in my opinion. And yes, he suffered so many goals. 40 goals conceded with players like Marquinhos, Sergio Ramos, Donnarumma. That's a consequence of no organization. That's why Galtier out. Galtier is more than out. So get my guy.
So who's in, Alex?
I thought it was Mourinho. Alex? I thought it would be Mourinho before that Anthony Taylor problems. I think Mourinho.
Don't get me started.
I think Mourinho acted poorly after the game. I think many managers in the history of football, I think more managers maybe in the past had that behavior than not. Because the cameras weren't there. But since the cameras are there, the attention is there. The money is different too because of that. So he has to act differently. And he has to be respectful at all times. So Mourinho, you are an icon. So people will follow you. And that's why I think PSG are out because of that. Just that what happened. Nasser Khelafi is the owner of a media company. He's the owner of a media company. Things like that ruin chances for a manager to go to PSG, in my opinion.
But the name being thrown out there right now is not the name. I don't need to see Nagelsmann at PSG.
I think it will happen though, Breton.
I know, but I don't need to see it.
Refuses Chelsea. I think PSG's the option. Tuchel, he went to PSG. Others went to PSG, but they didn't win the Champions League. So I think this young mentality, maybe Nagelsmann coming through, Thierry too being the assistant manager of this Nagelsmann team, as a lot of reports are suggesting. That's fun, man. That's fun. That's a new era. I'd like to see that happen personally, at least for the next season. How will they hit the transfer market? It'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting.
Well, it would be interesting. I mean, Nagelsmann doesn't exactly know, but I'll tell you what. I liked the idea of them kind of staying more insular, staying more Ligue 1, in that sense. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because I think that they've opened Pandora's box in the sense that they want to be global. They want superstars. They want this. And if you go back in one season, I don't know. There's a perfect cop-out here because you're not going to replace Messi. You're not replacing Neymar in terms of what they can do on the ball necessarily. So you almost have to kind of look more internally about, okay, we can't replace him for the name and the pizzazz and the buying power necessarily. So how do we do it? And if you look there are so many young strikers, so many young players within Ligue 1 right now that likely deserve a larger platform beyond PSG and Lens both going to the Champions League, right? And who else? I forget who the third one is.
It's good shouts. You're mentioning well. I agree with you. Like Zaire Emery, other youngsters.
Yeah.
Vitinha, I think will be very important, especially if Verratti leaves. I think.
Yeah,
I completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, but maybe you bought Ekitike, give him a role, let him fly, but fill him with. Yeah, well, their first signing is already going to be, it looks like, Marco Asensio on free.
That's a good one.
Not bad.
Not Ugarte.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, not Ugarte. But we'll get to that. But listen, I want to see something different with PSG because the whole bring as many stars in as we most possibly can, whether they're aging, whether they can't even get on the field for 4 months like Sergio Ramos, whatever. Just stop it. Stop name stacking and start actually buying quality players or developing quality players. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But Nagelsmann maybe could push them a little bit further in that direction. I don't know.
I agree. And I want to give a special mention to a player that deserves it with Lionel Messi and all this. Lionel Messi will leave PSG, and in his last season, he's the only player in the top 5 leagues with 20 goals and 20 assists. More than 20 goals, more than 20 assists in Liga.
There you go.
Okay? That's a massive role, and that's why he gets 400 million maybe a season and he goes to Saudi. Yeah. Let's wait and see if that happens.
But buddy, come on, you and I. Listen, I know Benzema and Messi in the Saudi league, fine. But come on, you and I can get allied on this. We can get behind Lionel Messi coming to Inter Miami and getting loaned out to Barcelona for a year.
I can get behind that, but do I think Messi will? Look, if Messi gets 400 million and he gives 200 to Barca.
Yeah.
I'm joking. That won't happen.
He might be able to afford that. Give him a piece of the Apple TV MLS rights, and maybe you've got something cooking here. I don't know. But come on. I think there are ways. I think Lionel Messi will be fought hard for in Major League Soccer. Why? Because I know we want to talk about the Saudi bid potentially for World Cup, and we can talk about it in future dates. But 2026 World Cup is right around the corner, okay? And the biggest statement, and I think even other MLS clubs would be in on this, because remember, all of these clubs essentially report to MLS. This is still a single entity structure, okay? All contracts are essentially Major League Soccer contracts. They're not Inter Miami.
It won't happen, Bretson. I really.
Why do you say that? The same way Declan Rice won't go to Bayern? Is that what you're saying? It can happen. It can happen. I think you forget the amount of money that is behind these clubs, that the only reason they can't spend the money is due to not enough eyeballs being on it. But they're not going to mess up the financial landscape of Major League Soccer and soccer incrementally growing, not exponentially growing, incrementally growing in the States. They're not going to mess it up, the future of it, to just throw 400 million for a 2-year Benzema, or throw $1 billion to get Messi and his family to take a few pictures in Saudi Arabia. I don't think it's going to happen.
Look, Cristiano Ronaldo was first. Cristiano Ronaldo's first. I think Benzema is going to follow through. I think Kante is going to follow through. I think Messi is going to follow through. And even after, players like Modric maybe will follow through.
Conte should follow through. The guy can't stay healthy. If he can get 100 million, by all means, do it. Do it and smile for the cameras. Exactly. I'm all for it, but don't. N'Golo Kante has nothing to do with Benzema, has nothing to do with Messi, and has nothing to do with Ronaldo.
I get you. But I wanted to get that special mention. And with PSG people, put down below who do you think will manage PSG and what will happen with transfers too. We're very curious to see that.